Oh, hi up there. I was just looking down here at Peter David's Sir Apropos of Nothing. This is a IDW book that Peter David has been putting out the last few months. It's just really funny. It's something that he's been saying he's been wanting to write for a while, and I'm really, really glad that he's writing it. Currently, as you can see here on the cover's by Robin Riggs, and it says with apologies to Jay, because the very beginning of this book starts out exactly like The Gunslinger. And it's built up like it's a story about the gunslinger. It starts out with, you know, the man in black fled across the desert. And then it comes to, as for me, I rode across the desert on a horse with no name. And and it's about this character, Sir Apropos, and his adventures throughout kind of a fantasy land. As he travels through, he comes across many characters, one of which the Man in Black from the Gunslinger books and the Dark Tower stuff, and then also Roland himself, I think, comes across at some point. But it's just his adventures. It's him traveling through this fantasy land, all of his different stories, and he is supposedly he's got that whole very unlucky person who thankfully ends up being very lucky in the long run kind of thing. And the art's good in it, and it's just really, really fun and very, very humorous. And a lot of the jokes in this book, you kind of, I guess, you got to kind of understand where they're coming from, like the Man in Black. Unless you've read The Dark Tower, you don't really know who that is or where that's being taken from. This is issue 2, which in issue 2 there's a lot of basically a tornado forms due to this storm, and he gets caught in it. He's riding on his little staff that he has, and it's just very much, of course, The Wizard of Oz. And this is one of my favorite spreads here. If you look, you can see the silhouettes of all these different characters. I think Bart Simpson's in the tornado. There's Popeye. It's just really, really funny. Yeah, it's probably the Gunslinger there. You have what's his name? Pancha. Yes. Zorro. There's Starship Enterprise in there. So it's Pooh and Piglet. It's just Snoopy and Charlie Brown. It's really funny. It just ties into this whole fantasy world with all these different characters that he runs into. I'm going to go ahead and close this review of this very entertaining book with one of my favorite parts here. Again, it's like, someone help me. And then, what? And she looks, and he's flying through the sky after he escaped from the tornado, and he's like, ah! And she says, a wizard, a wonderful Wizard of Oz. Because he's screaming, ah. It's so funny. If anybody hasn't flipped through this, at least pick it up and flip through it. The jokes are just tremendous, and the humor is great. It's Peter David, Robin Riggs, Sir Apropos of Nothing. Good stuff. Are you still recording? You can stop it now.